Naming beneficiaries on your accounts or life insurance policies may not be the best approach, and here's why. My name's Murph. I'm a CPA and financial advisor, helping Canadians achieve financial freedom through common sense strategies. Beneficiary designations are binding, meaning the accounts or life insurance policy will bypass your will and estate on death. For example, assume that you name your adult child as the beneficiary on your TFSA or your RRSP. When the bank or brokerage receives notification that you've passed away, they will automatically transfer the account to the beneficiary. It makes for an easy transfer of funds, but there are some risks. First is the tax issue. When you die, you are deemed to dispose of all your assets at fair market value. This often creates a tax liability in your estate. You can think of an estate as a new entity that's created when you die. Without beneficiaries or a spousal rollover, all of your assets will be pooled together in your estate. Your executor can then use those funds to pay tax liabilities, funeral costs, and legal fees before the remaining funds are distributed out according to your will. But if there are beneficiaries on all the accounts, you could still have an estate tax liability without any cash in the estate to pay it. Your executor then becomes responsible to chase funds and pay the estate taxes. Second, you could have unequal division of assets. For example, in a family that has multiple children, one child could be the beneficiary of an RRSP that's worth $100,000, whereas the other child could be the beneficiary of a life insurance policy worth $1 million. Because the beneficiary designations are legally binding, neither child has an obligation to share their part of the inheritance. However, as you can see, it's very imbalanced. Lastly, I'll talk about the administrative burden of updating beneficiary designations. We've all done this. Set up an account or life insurance policy, designate the beneficiary, and then forget about it for a decade. The issue is that circumstances can change. A beneficiary could pass away before the holder of the account, or family dynamics can change. A divorce or new children are introduced. And so someone could be inadvertently cut out of the inheritance, or what I've also seen, an ex-spouse receives a life insurance policy when they're no longer part of the family. But I will speak to one benefit, and that's probate planning. In Alberta, probate is typically a mute discussion in estate planning because the fees are limited to a few $100s. But in provinces like Ontario or BC, probate can eat 1.4 to 1.5 of the estate where it's over $50,000. Designating beneficiaries means bypassing probate, which means less fees for the provincial government. That said, there are trust arrangements that can mitigate this risk without having to go through and designate beneficiaries on all your accounts.